How's it going, guys? I am Connor from Running Warehouse. I'm here with my boy Derek, and today we are reviewing the Adidas AdiZero Pro. Now, every brand is bringing out their carbon fiber plate shoe, and this is Adidas's first take at it. Now, looking at some of the other shoes on the market, you got the Vaporfly, you got the Alphafly, you got the Endorphin Pro. They all have that super high stack height. This looks a little different. It's a little lower to the ground. I don't want to compare it directly to those shoes because it really is a shoe in its own. Derek, what were your first thoughts on this?
Well, initially, Connor, I have to admit, I wasn't too excited about the shoe after hearing about the specs. But after a few strides, it had a super smooth, comfortable ride, and it was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think I had the same impressions because right off the back you look at the weight and it does weigh in a little heavier than some of the competition. But again, once you get on your foot, it does have a nice ride. Where that weight comes into play, I think, comes down to the midsole. A lot of these shoes are using their known super foam compounds. You've got the Power Run PB, you've got Zoom X. Right here, Adidas took a little bit of a safer choice. They used that Light Strike Boost mixed compound. What were your thoughts on the responsiveness and the underfoot feel of the AdiZero Pro midsole?
Yeah, I didn't feel like this was the most responsive of all the carbon fiber plated shoes, but I really enjoyed the boost in the heel. I'm a heel striker, so having that nice slab of boost under the heel just gave me some nice cushion landings and made for a pretty comfortable ride. The Light Strike, you know, we've seen this material a few times. I think first it debuted on the Boston, and you know, when comparing the previous Boston with the regular boost to the Boston with the Light Strike, I didn't feel a huge difference. There wasn't a huge difference in weight. So this foam, I wouldn't categorize it as a super foam, but like I said before, it did provide a nice, smooth, cushioned ride that felt great on my workouts.
Yeah, I'll agree. I don't think I'd put this in the same boat as some of the super foams, but the foam did what it's supposed to do. It offered a little bit of protection. It's fairly light and responsive. The Light Strike, I felt like it did feel similar to the Light Strike we saw in the SL20. The Boost offered a little bit of softness, a little bit of pop. Overall, is it anything like crazy special? No, but it felt good, it felt fast, and I was able to pick it up on workout day, was able to, you know, move pretty quick for race pace efforts. It had a similar feel to maybe some of your more traditional racing flats, but of course you've got that carbon fiber plate that adds that extra rigidity and efficiency. Now, moving on down to the outsole, you know, you've got continental rubber in the forefoot, AdiWear in the heel, and then of course that quick strike DSP in the midfoot to help keep weight in the minimum. What were your thoughts on the outsole?
You know, I'm not a big stickler for outsoles. You know, as long as it provides good traction and durability, that's all I really look for. And I felt like the AdiZero Pro checked both those boxes for me. The continental grip held up really nicely, and you know, these little attached pods in the back gave me some nice grip even in some wetter conditions. So yeah, everything that I look for in an outsole, this shoe had for me.
Yeah, and I think when you look at some of the other shoes that might be lighter, part of them being lighter is that they do have a little bit more exposed foam. And here we've got the continental rubber. It's gonna add a little bit of weight, but I felt like the durability and traction is where the shoe shined. Of course, in the heel, you got the AdiWear for even more durability for people who are heel striking. And the Quick Strike DSP, I think it did just add a little bit of extra bite to the shoe. And that is an expensive process, so you don't see a lot of companies use this often, but it helps keep weight down, adds that extra grip. You know, it's definitely a plus. Now, moving on to the upper, we've got this Cellar mesh design. Derek, what were your first thoughts on this?
Well, virtually it disappeared on my foot, which is what you want for a racing flat. I don't know if you could tell from the video, but it's almost see-through, really a thin, lightweight. But they did add a little bit of comfort elements on the heel and on the tongue, which I felt came into play great during the later portions of my workouts. So when my feet were getting tired, felt a little beat up.
Yeah, I think this upper had a very traditional Adidas racing flat type fit, nice and secure in the midfoot. You know, very breathable design. Nothing that like really stood out, but I think that's good. That's what you want in a racing flat. You want something that kind of just disappears on your foot. I thought that this shoe did it. Overall, is this a shoe that I will continue to use in my lineup? Probably yes. You know, it is expensive, and I think it's gonna take the right person who likes Adidas racing shoes, maybe doesn't need the very lightest shoe, wants something a little lower to the ground. I don't think it's fair to compare it, like I said, to a Vaporfly because it is a very different shoe. We are gonna see a shoe similar from Adidas coming down the line. We've got the Adidas AdiZero Pro. That shoe is gonna have that maxed out stack height that you see in the Vaporflies, the new Light Strike Pro compound that is even lighter and more responsive. So that's something to look forward in the future in that elite marathon type world. But something a little more nimble, faster, and lower to the ground, I think the AdiZero Pro is gonna find itself in a lot of people's lineup. Derek, what were your thoughts? Are you gonna keep using this shoe?
Oh, I'm definitely gonna keep using this shoe. It's a great option for my track days. You know, I wouldn't use it for anything faster than, you know, like 4-minute pace on the track, but anything in the 5-minute realm, whether that be, you know, quarters or long tempos, intervals, stuff like that, is definitely a great shoe. Like you said, Connor, I wouldn't really put it in the same realm as the Alphafly, Vaporfly, Endorphin Pro, but more so the Speed Elite and Meta Racer. It is, like Connor said, a little lower to the ground, which I do think some people prefer rather than a really high shoe. And like I said, it is comfortable and smooth, which is super important and kind of rare with some of these carbon fiber plated shoes.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. This shoe is sleek and fast. I think at first look, you might take a look at that weight and think, this isn't the shoe for me, but I would definitely recommend getting it on your foot. It's responsive, it has that low to the ground feel. It kind of has a nice blend of a traditional racing flat mixed with kind of a new age carbon fiber plate racer. Overall, I had a blast running in this shoe and I think it will be something that people look forward to racing in. If you're looking to get this shoe on your foot, it's available now at Running Warehouse.